2024 will mark nearly a decade on the bench as judge of 89th District Court for Judge Barnard, but it also marks the end of his time in that role. Judge Barnard will retire when his term expires at the end of next year. Josh Hoggard spoke with Judge Barnard this morning, and he's joining us now with more. Josh.
Yeah, Lauren, Judge Barnard's going to be making more time for his family and his friends when his term expires next December. And while he said he's still got plenty of work left to do during that time, he's proud of all he's been able to accomplish as the 89th District Court's judge. The judge's bench in a Wichita County District Courtroom will be changing hands in 2024.
I've talked to my family and my wife about retiring.
The man who's presided over the 89th District Court since 2015 is turning in the gavel.
It's time to move on in my life. I'm in good health and no problems there, but I have a bunch of grandkids and I'd like to see them more often.
Following the death of District Court Judge Mark Price, Charles M. Barnard was appointed by Governor Greg Abbott to the 89th. When his term expires in 2024, it will mark nearly a decade on the bench for Barnard. And during that time, he's presided over hundreds upon hundreds of cases, but he said the ones that stuck out to him were the ones that involved children.
There were a number of cases in my court that involved child sexual assault. Those are difficult cases to handle. There's some very sad situations that arise in those cases, and yet I think I've done a good job in presiding over those.
And the man who served as a prosecutor for a number of those cases couldn't agree more.
I think that that's going to be one of his legacies, that court is very tough on child molesters and those who prey upon kids.
There's a fine line between being tough and being kind, and that's never more the case than for a judge on the bench. However, Gillespie said Judge Barnard walked that line perfectly.
He was kind to all the parties, respectful to all the parties, gave the defendant the fair trial, but when it came time to sentence him, then that's when the hammer came down. So I think he really walk that line in an appropriate way.
Gillespie said he hopes Judge Barnard's fair balance of being tough and being kind is just another part of his legacy.
That is a great thing in a judge, and it's something that we all ought to aspire to be more like that.
Judge Barnard said he's going to make some time for what matters most when his term expires.
I plan on traveling some. My sister lives in Montana. My brother lives in New York. I want to be with family and friends as much as I can be.
And he still hopes to make a few guest appearances on the bench as well.
I'd like to continue as a visiting judge, and hopefully I can be assigned to do that.
But he said the end of his term is the right time to hang up the robe.
I've really enjoyed my time on the bench. I've learned a lot, and I hope that I've served the state of Texas and Wichita County well as the judge of the 89th District Court.
Now, I know I speak for our entire team at KFDX in congratulating Judge Barnard for his forthcoming retirement and thanking him for his service to our community. Now, if you want to read more from our conversation that we had this morning, you can find that over on our website, Texomashomepage.com.
Well, he's certainly going to be missed, but he will be here for a little while longer, so that's
right, yeah.
good. Okay, Josh, thank you so much.